How's it going, Mets and overall baseball fans? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, as we all know, the Carlos Correa saga has come to an end before it truly even began, as you see from these latest live streams and podcasts we've done on the channel. Make sure to check them out after watching this video if you haven't already, folks. But now it's about what is next for this Mets team this offseason, because they aren't just currently active in the position player market, but they're also very active still in the relief pitcher market. And that's something where we could see a move happen potentially in the coming days, if not weeks, this offseason. So that's what we're going to be breaking down in today's video on the latest reporting on the player that the Mets are currently showing interest in. But before I get into it all I ask is, if you're new to the channel, don't hesitate from smashing that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all so much in advance for your endless support as always, folks. And of course, I have to let you all know that today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs, so make sure you head over to betonline.ag using promo code Bleav at BLEAV. That way you get yourself a 50% off welcome bonus. BetOnline, it's where the games begin. And now, folks, let's let the show begin, because before I even get into the report here, I want to say, I know that there's people jumping in the comments probably before even watching the video saying, why are we talking about a reliever? The Mets just lost it on Carlos Correa. The only type of focus should be offense. The Mets are going to have no offense heading into next season. Why are we talking about a reliever right now? It makes absolutely zero sense. No, we got to be focusing on just offense. Why are we talking about a bat? This isn't a bat. All this nonsense. Guys, I get it. I understand. I want Correa just like many of you other Mets fans. I really did. It's not happening for obvious reasons with that health concern with his ankle now. Okay, what are the Mets going to do as a proper pivot? We're going to discuss plenty more on the channel as we did in our previous podcast yesterday. Are they going to strictly focus in the free agent market with it just guys that aren't Correa level? Are they going to focus in the trade market with guys that potentially could have more of an impact the way that Correa had? Yes, any and everything is now possible for the Mets. It's just going to be trickier because in the trade market, we know it's more difficult than the free agent market itself. But yes, I'm well aware, guys, about the Mets wanting to add more offense. They're going to. We're just going to soon find out to what degree. And the reason why we're doing this video not even 24 hours after the Correa news, or right around there, is simply because of the fact that we here on WardyNYM cover everything that you need to know about the Mets. So even if it's not the most opportune time right now with people mourning the loss of Correa, even though we never officially had him, it still needs to be said and discussed, because this is something that very well could have and is very realistic for this team in the near future. And that is, as you see here from John Heyman, reported that yes, the Mets are showing interest in Zack Britton, the longtime stud reliever with the Baltimore Orioles during basically Buck Showalter's entire tenure as manager for Baltimore. And again, Britton doesn't only have that connection here with Buck Showalter, but also does with new Mets coach and Don Cheedy. So I want to know your raw reactions down below, folks. Let me see them here. For me, my raw reaction, I'm very much in favor of Zack Britton, because before anyone says, why would the Mets do this? It's all about depth with the bullpen. The Mets have already done a phenomenal job this offseason, and bringing back Edwin Diaz, bringing back Adam Ottavino, signing David Robertson, trading for Brooks Raley. The Mets have done phenomenal with those high leverage relievers. And if there's any other high leverage reliever out there that they could still potentially pick up, because I know that they still have a level of interest there, is Andrew Chafin. I would love Andrew Chafin, and I'm not saying the Mets are out on him right now, but them showing interest in Zack Britton here is a guy that strictly is pretty much picking up a flyer, not much different than a waiver claim, because while Britton has a great career overall, in the past couple years, he's been terribly injury riddled, so you don't know what you're going to get. There's risks there with the health. So automatically, his value is going to be low, and you're looking for potentially lightning in the bottle in non-high leverage situations. That's the best thing. This would be like a Trevor May or a Drew Smith for the Mets next season, where you're not going to be reliant on him in high leverage, the way that I know we all were with Dellin Betances when the Mets signed him under Brodie Van Wagenen. We signed this guy who was absolutely cooked. You know, he was soil milk, if you will. The guy was absolutely a shell of what he once was because of his injuries, and the Mets signed him viewing him as a high leverage reliever. That would not be the case here with Zack Britton. Zack Britton would have to earn his keep, and if he starts the year and ends up looking really well, then could be utilized in more high leverage situations as the year goes on. But that is not a guarantee whatsoever with how deep this Mets bullpen already is. So that's the difference here. I don't want anyone thinking that the Mets picking up Zack Britton is, oh my goodness, they need him, he's going to be their setup man. No, it's the farthest thing from the truth. Non-high leverage situations, the Mets can always use more depth in the bullpen, just like any other team. And as you see from his stat line here, did not pitch much at all in the 2022 season because he was coming off of Tommy John surgery, then returned, didn't even pitch a full inning, and then was shut down for the remainder of the year with shoulder fatigue. So that is again where the health concern comes into play. Throughout basically his entire Yankees tenure, he didn't pitch more than 20 innings a season over the 3-4 years that he was there because he was dealing with ailments. But in 2021, even though he had a 5+ ERA with the Yanks in around 18 or so innings, he did have a 3.55 expected ERA, which tells you really what he can control as a pitcher without the defense around him. That is a good stat to see. That's more important than a baseline ERA for sure. And again, Zack Britton, he's favorable with the sinker, with the slider. Heavy favorable with that sinker especially. Topping out low 90s right now. Doesn't have the velo like he did a couple years ago. Mid to high 90s with the sinker. His walk rates have been up and down, but that's something that Jeremy Hefner can work with fine, as he did with Adam Ottavino. Great example. Adam Ottavino had a 5 walks per 9 right around there when he signed with the Mets a year ago, and this past season, in his first year with the Mets, had a 2 walks per 9. So the walks I'm not nearly as concerned with for a guy that would be in a non-high leverage situation, just taking a flyer on him, but it really is, again, that health. He was a dominant reliever during his time with Buck Showalter. Putting aside Buck not using him when he should have in extra innings for the Baltimore Orioles in the 2016 playoffs, I believe, but still a guy where in 2015, 2016 was all-star, had a combined 80+ saves during that time frame, and even had a Cy Young type season in 2016, where in just under 70 innings pitched had a 0.5 ERA. He was nasty, doing his best Edwin Diaz impression with how Edwin was a borderline Cy Young candidate this past year as a Mets star closer. But you bring in Britton, what does he give you? He gives you more depth to this bullpen. Nothing more, nothing less. And again, if he thrives by rekindling that relationship with Buck Showalter and now Don Cheedy, there's only upsides that can happen in this situation, just like how the Mets have done well with some really low-risk, high-upside waiver claims headlined by Steven Ridings to begin this offseason, coming from the Yankees as well. A young flamethrower, like 6'6", 6'8", towering right-hander, who again just dealt with injury this past year, so he really didn't pitch. And because of that, the Yankees had to let him go. They had to free up roster space, and the Mets got him. Low-risk, high-upside, that's what you see here again with Zack Britton. If it doesn't work out, no worries whatsoever. The Mets will make sure that they have the proper depth in this bullpen regardless. And no, I do not believe that by getting a Zack Britton, that it automatically means that they're not going to go after Andrew Chafin or potentially Matt Moore, some other southpaw options out there, because naturally you want more than just Brooks Raley in this bullpen, aside from what David Robertson or Joey Lucchesi can potentially bring in a reliever type role. Those aren't guarantees. So all I know is that Zack Britton, I'm all in favor of a pickup like him in a non-leverage type situation. And for you Mets fans out there, I really don't see how you can complain about a situation like this, but naturally I know that in the comments I'm going to see a wide variety of comments regardless on Zack Britton and what the Mets are doing next this offseason. More moves are coming, plenty more moves. To what degree, that is what we're going to find out. But Mets fans, that is going to do it for this video. So I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the Mets pursuing the longtime stud southpaw reliever in Zack Britton, rekindling that relationship with Buck Showalter? Do you like that idea? Do you not like that idea? Whatever it is, make sure to drop them down below. And as always, folks, if you found yourself enjoying this kind of Mets content and you want to see more great Mets content like this, don't hesitate to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys again so much for the endless support over the not only the past couple months, but truly since we started the channel. I'm beyond humbled and grateful every single day because of you guys, and stay tuned for more great content. As always, we have a lot more coming out now that the Craze saga has officially come to an end. Thank you guys so much again. As always, let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.